Okay, so we have this question on the reference to the sheep and the goat from the play. So I would request Pooja, you asked this question. So yes, what is that question?
So, sir, in the Act 1, there is a reference of God that one of the two brothers who came to give message to Vladimir says that he takes care of goats and sheep. So, what is the reference of that with biblical?
Okay, so like what exactly is coming that in the text? Do you remember anybody? What exactly is the conversation? Yeah, yeah.
So I am taking care of goats, and my brother is taking care of sheep.
Okay, then.
So how is connected with biblical reference?
With the reference of the play or a biblical reference. Okay, yeah. Then there was something else also along with that. Well, let us see that sequence. Yeah, let us try to see that sequence. Yes. It is about regarding the punishment idea in the play. The punishment idea, that is uh, that's where the totality of the thing, that God fearing people. People fear the punishment of God. That is more concerning than the love of the God. Though it says that God loves us, Bible or any holy book says that, but we are by and large, humans are not worried about the love of the God. What they are worried about is the punishment of the God, and that's what makes God fearing people and everything. The relation between God and humans, or the very character of God, which becomes problematic maybe because of this fear, punishment, anger of the God. That is what. So that is where Beckett also is playing on that idea. This in this entire play also. So in this sequence, let us see how this conversation between Vladimir and the boy in Act 1 goes. Okay?
No, sir. This is the first time. Yes, sir. What? Speak. Mr. Godot told me to tell you he won't come this evening, but surely tomorrow. Is that all? Yes, sir. You work for Mr. Godot? Yes, sir. What do you do? I mind the goat, sir. Is he good to you? Yes, sir. He doesn't beat you? No, sir, not me. Whom does he beat? He beats my brother, sir. Ah, you have a brother? Yes, sir. What does he do? He minds the sheep, sir. And why doesn't he beat you? I don't know, sir. He must be fond of you. I don't know, sir. Does he give you enough to eat?
So in this conversation that we find here that a slightly one dialogue was missing in this cinematic adaptation. But what we see here is this full dialogue, the conversation here. I mind the gods. Is it good to you? He says yes. Then whom does he beat? He beats my brother. You have a brother. What does he do? He minds the sheep. Why doesn't he beat you? I don't know. He says. And then here, you are not unhappy. It's a very curious way of asking the question. You can say that, are you happy? Are you unhappy? But say, you are not unhappy. That way it says. Then the boy hesitates here. Then he says, do you hear me? More firmly asking that. So that answer is not very clearly given. Once your force says yes, this. Uh, you don't know if you are unhappy or not. So that sense of happiness or unhappiness, or being beaten or not beaten, or who is beaten, why it is beaten, this all reference that comes there. So this sheep and the goat, there is a reference in this to the Bible, wherein it is said that Jesus Christ told that sheep on the right hand side, and goats on the left hand side. That way, he says, when the God will divide everybody, they will say the God will, or Jesus will say that these people on the right side, these people on the left side. So, what is this right and left? That also becomes significant, along with what is the nature of sheep and goat. What does sheep and goat mean in this context when they are put on right hand side or on the left hand side? We do get a sense that something on the right hand side is favorable, something on the left hand side is unfavorable. So some good people are always on the right hand side, the left are bad people. Even the political language of leftist comes from the very this idea of theology, that on the right hand side there are good people, on the left hand side there are bad people or bad things there. So when we see the character of this goat and sheep, with this reference of the parable which comes from Matthew's parable, Matthew in the first slide we have put here, Matthew 25:31 to 46. So in this part, in this gospel by Matthew, this parable is discussed, where Jesus says this. And when people ask that why on right hand side the sheep, why left hand side the goat, then he said that when I was hungry, when I required help of the people, these people who were mending the sheep, they helped me, and these people who are mending the goats, they did not help me. So he remembers that how he was treated by two kinds of people. Some treated him well, some treated him in a bad manner. So on that ground, now he is telling that all those who treated me well on the right hand side, all those who treated me bad on the left hand side. So that is sheep and the goat. The sheep means somebody who treated son of the God in a better way. God means those who treated him in a bad manner. So sheep becomes those who know and follow Jesus, do not believe in Jesus. Jesus knows them also, Jesus don't know them. All righteous are self-righteous. Jesus gives them eternal life, refuse life. Are eternally secure, they are condemned. Are blessed by the Father, are curses themselves. Some serve Jesus unknowingly, some do religious work. So this way, these two are divided. And then there are paintings also based on this. From that reference, we get much larger picture of Jesus, and then in after this day of judgment, when everybody will go to heaven, and then they will be divided what work you have done. And then those who will be on the right hand side, like sheep, they all will be those good people who identified Jesus or religion, who practiced religious things throughout their life, and they are put on the right hand side, on the favorable side of the things. And so these people, like there are the first angels, then the gospel writers, and then the followers, good people, and they happily live the life. They all are enjoying the life. Whereas on the other side, left hand side, there are the people fighting. Here also they are all fighting among themselves. All sinners are here, and all good people are on this side. So that way, right and the left is divided here. Now the main point that comes here is that when we see that it doesn't go exactly in a biblical manner. Beckett is not using it in a biblical manner. So he says that the one who keeps goats is not beaten, and the one who keeps minds the sheep is beaten. So how he plays on that parable? Beckett plays on the parable. Do you have any guarantee, as if he's telling to religious people, that if you are a sheep, you will be taken care of? The little boy says that, well, I take care of goats, but I am taken good care of. And my brother is beaten, who is taking care of sheep also. So if that happens, then what the religious people will do? How will they face that reality which will be against what the parable is telling. The parable is telling. So, as Beckett keeps on playing on Bible throughout the play, right from the idea of God to two thieves, Abel and Cain, and many such references of Bible, which keeps on coming. At one place, we also have seen that when they recall Bible, when Vladimir remembers Bible and Estragon remembers only his honeymoon. So the connection is quite derogatory, one can say, quite insulting to the holy book or to the religious people. Also, in the same strain, the very idea of goat and sheep also is discussed. So he says they are beaten. But at the same time, when we see these lines, we also come to know that perhaps these people, like those who are with the Godot, they have no notion of what is being happiness and unhappiness also. The notion of being happiness is also lost. So when he says that, are you not unhappy? There is no answer. This I don't know. Boy says, I don't know whether I am happy or unhappy. So even that notion of what is being happy or unhappy is lost too. Now, why we crave to go to heaven? Because we want to be eternally happy. Everybody wants to be eternally, perpetually happy. So we crave to go to heaven. But when those people who are around Godot, they don't know whether they are happy or not. And those who are there, they are also beaten. Why they are beaten? Again, illogical way of looking at this. So, how the judgment of God functions, that is unknown, that is questioned also by Beckett in this. So that is how this reference is not used the way the parable of Matthew goes, but it again is questioned in this reference. But there is this reference of right and left, which again reminds us of how theologically right hand side and the left hand side is being considered. Right hand side people are pious people, good people, faithful people, religious people, or rather we can call it right wingers in today's political language, right wingers. And the left people are atheist, non-believer, questions authorities, questions power, whereas these people will bow down to power, dharma satta or any of those power, they will bow down, whereas the left will keep on questioning. So they are unwanted people. God dislike this kind of people also. Okay? Yes, you can put this also. Hmm.
Even the very reference of nature of sheep and goat as an animal, that they are like this, that sheep are much docile than goats. And even if you touch a goat, they will beat you. Sheep don't do any kind of thing. That reference can be related.
That also, yes. So their reference, like the behavioral pattern of the goat and the sheep also, one can see that the docility among the sheep is comparatively more than the goat. Goat may not be easily controlled by the shepherd. Shepherd will just sign in this direction and all the sheep will move in that direction, whereas goat may be difficult to manage also. Goats may be difficult to manage also. But with this, this is the nature of those animals that, which can be read. But at the same time, we also can see that both the animals are very jiddy also. They both are very adamant kind of a thing also. So if they like come to something, it is very difficult to change their course. So when the goats or sheep, when they fight head on with each other, they will not let go anything. So that adamancy of the sheep also along with goat, which is so like nowadays, as we have seen Charlie Chaplin's film also, where humans turn into sheep, that we have seen that image of the beginning sequence, which also says that the adamancy of the people who are blinded by some kinds of religious or political discourse is also very difficult to manage. People cannot open the eyes of these people. It's not easy to sway them into any other direction. If they have made up their mind that we think in this way, we move in this direction, it is difficult for anybody to change the course of this. That is the adamancy of sheep and the goat also. So docility is there, but with that comes this adamancy also. Okay, so that is the reference of this thing. Yeah. Okay, so you can this put off this recording here now.